again and welcome to class 705. All right, let's continue. Let's continue where we left off yesterday with our vocabulary. On page 153, almost in the middle. Maleducado, rude, rude. Impolite, impolite. Basically it's the same, poco cortés. Impolite, discourteous, rude. Rude is más fuerte. Impolite is poco. But rude is very impolite. Rude. También es maleducado hablando más que actuando. Actuando yo diría impolite. Pero hablando rude. Rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. Se decía eso a veces. When I was young, rude, crude, rude no es rudo. En español, rudo es otra cosa. Rude, rude, es maleducado. Crudo y socialmente inaceptable. It's rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. Maleducado, rude. Paisaje, scenery. Sí, scenery, el escenario es como scenery. Scenery is paisaje, scenery, panorama. The scenery is beautiful. Yeah, the landscape, the scenery. Una escena es a scene. Escrito scene, scene. Igual que la palabra visto. He visto una escena. I've seen a scene. What scene have you seen? How many scenes have you seen? I've only seen one scene. Scenery, the scenery. All right, paisaje, scenery. Autónomo. Autónomo como trabajador. Yo trabajo de autónomo. Yo soy autónomo. I am self-employed. Soy autoempleado. Así se dice. With a hyphen. Self, hyphen, employed. Self-employed. Are you self-employed? I'm self-employed. Yes. I'm semi-retired now, so I'm working as a self-employed individual. Self-employed, self-employed, self-employed. All right, los autónomos en este país. The self-employed people in this country are always complaining. Con razón, muchas veces, yes. They're always complaining. It's difficult. Life is difficult. All right, self-employed. ¿Desde cuándo? Since when? ¿Desde cuándo estudias tu inglés? Tú. Since when do you study English? Since when? ¿Desde cuándo asistes a mis clases? Since when? Since when? Since when do you come to my classes? Estar aburrido, to be bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. Yes. I never get bored. To get bored is aburrirse. Nunca me aburro. I never get bored. Really. I always find something stimulating to do. But because I have a lot of different options. I can play the piano, I can play the guitar, I can read a book, I can play solitaire on the computer or play Tetris on the computer, I can eat a steak, I can watch TV, I can do, there's so many things. I can surf the web. I mean, you go to YouTube, and you have 10 million options in YouTube. You know, you can watch a tutorial on how to improve your biceps, or you can watch a discussion about politics. You can listen to an interview with Darth Vader, or you can anything. Or you can watch a small documentary on how Star Wars was conceived. And you can watch a program about the 10 greatest composers in history, classical composers, or the 10 greatest electric guitarists in history. There's so many things you can watch. Or geostrategists talking about Ukraine and Russia, or talking about Iran and Saudi Arabia, talking about politics or geostrategy. You can do so many things. Yes, me aburro. I'm bored. I'm bored. Oh, I'm sorry. I remember my daughter when she was very little. And she said, I'm bored. I said, oh, hi, bored. I'm Richard. I said, no, que estoy aburrida. Okay, so I was pulling her leg. Of course, in Spanish, it's impossible. Por ser y estar. Si estoy aburrida. Bueno, yo soy Richard. Porque es que no cuadra. But in English, it's the same verb. I am bored. I am Richard. And every time my daughter said, I'm bored, Daddy. Oh, really? Hello, bored. I'm Richard. And she got, okay, no. She got very irritated with me about these things. Ahora, ser aburrido is to be boring. I think I'm not boring. Am I a boring teacher? If I'm a boring teacher, then probably you are a bored student. Are you bored? Are you bored? All right. Tener ganas de is to feel like. Tengo ganas, ahora mismo que yo tengo ganas de comerme un pincho de tortilla. Yeah. I feel like having a Spanish omelet, a potato omelet. I feel like having a Spanish omelet and a cup of coffee. Yes. Why not? Yeah, after this show, Marta, let's go have a coffee and a Spanish. But Marta's hungry. Yeah, she told me when she was putting on the makeup, she said, tengo un hambre que no vea. And her stomach was growling. Gruñir, you know, like a dog, stomach is growling. Hago bien el sonido. Her stomach was, and she said, es que tengo un hambre, verá. And so she's hungry. I'm not hungry for food. I'm hungry for the good things in life. Yeah. All right, hungry. But I'm not bored. She's not bored. I feel like having gerundio. I feel like having a Spanish omelet. I don't feel like teaching English today. To tell you the truth, a decir verdad. To tell you the truth, simply to tell you, el you impersonal. To tell you the truth, para ser sincero, to be sincere, but no, to tell you the truth, I don't really feel like doing this class today. I don't know. I really don't feel like it. No me da la gana, no me apetece. I don't feel like it. Si no dices el gerundio, I don't feel like doing this class or giving this class. El it reemplaza todo eso, giving this class. I don't feel like it. I don't want to give this class today. Why not, Richard? I don't feel like it. It's just, I don't know. Yeah. I'm thick-headed today. Tengo una mente espesa hoy. I'm just not, I don't feel like giving this class. What do you feel like doing? I told you. I already told you. I feel like having a Spanish omelet. All right. Heredar is to inherit. Voy a heredar una fortuna. No, it's not true. I'm not going to inherit a fortune. But when your father died, Richard, did you inherit a fortune? No. I inherited a little bit of money and my sister, but not a fortune. No. The money I have is from my work, not from inheritance. To inherit the wind, heredar el viento. Inherit the wind. Yes, to inherit. Inherit also is código genético. Heredas rasgos de personalidad y físicos. Heredas de tus padres y antepasados. You inherit physical and psychological traits, escrito traits from your parents and your grandparents and your ancestors. You know, it's interesting. I have hay fever in the springtime. Hay fever is fiebre del heno. Hay is heno. Fever. I have hay fever, achoo, in the springtime. My father had it. His father had it. His father had it, and my great, el tatarabuelo. Yeah, my great-grandfather was living in Missouri, and he had severe hay fever, and the doctor told him to go to Texas. Okay. So it goes back at least 5 generations, hay fever in the springtime. So I inherited hay fever from the paternal side of my family. My mother never suffered hay fever. All right, interesting. To inherit, y que la H suene, to inherit, herit. Y herencia es inheritance. Herencia genética y herencia dineraria is inheritance. Herencia cultural is heritage. Heritaje, escrito. La herencia española, la herencia cultural de la Roma antigua. The heritage. All right. Instalar is to install. Yeah, for this studio, it was necessary to install the lights, to install the acoustics, la parte acústica, the acoustics, to install the cables and everything. Yeah, it didn't take long to install everything here. Yeah, and to install the plugs, los enchufes y todo, to instalar is to install. Installations, yes sir, deber, dinero, to owe. ¿Qué te debo? Yes, it's interesting. When I came to Spain, I was 20 years old. My first contact with the Spanish language in real life, not in the classroom, was here. And I remember my first Spanish friend, we went to a bar to have coffee. And he said, ¿Qué le debo? I said, Nacho, ¿qué has dicho? No has dicho cuánto es. No, he said, ¿Qué le debo? ¿Qué te debo? ¿Qué le debo? How much do I owe you? And I thought that was interesting. Because in English, if you have a coffee, you don't say to the waiter, how much do I owe you? You say, how much is it? That's it. How much? Or how much? How much is it? How much do I owe you? Parece que una deuda. To owe implica una deuda. Y tomar un café no te haga entrar en deudas. Okay, really. But that's what you say here. ¿Qué te debo? How much do I owe you? I owe you. Yo te debo. I owe you. Ahora, owe. O-W-E. Owe. The pronunciation is exactly the same as the letter O. Claro. En castellano es como O-U. O. Ourense. Soto. O. Ahora bien. I-O-U. The 3 letters I-O-U is a short term of saying te debo. Te daré un pagaré. Te debo 80 euros. I'll give you an IOU. IOU. All right, to owe is deber. To owe. Amenazar is to threaten. Threat is amenaza. Con N añadida. Threaten. Don't threaten me. No me amenaces. Are you threatening me por casualidad? Yeah? Are you threatening me? Don't threaten me. I don't accept threats. To threaten. If you don't improve your English, you will suffer the consequences. Are you threatening me? No. The consequences are threatening you in the future. To threaten. Threat. TH al principio. Treat. Threat. Si cambias la T final por una D, es hilo de coser. Thread. Yes. Desagradable, unpleasant. Pleasant, unpleasant. Is this class pleasant for you or unpleasant? I hope it's pleasant. Richard, are those lights pleasant or unpleasant? They are unpleasant. All right. Unpleasant. All right. Impopular, unpopular. In secondary school in the United States, it's very important to be popular. If you are unpopular, it's a psychological problem. Pew, como population, popular. Es un chico muy popular. Se dice menos en español popular que en inglés popular. 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 Burn, quemar, burn, popular. Popular? No, popular. He's a popular person or he's an unpopular person. Volumen, volume. Un descuento por volumen de compras. A volume discount. Y también el volumen. The volume. It's curioso, it's strange. You know, because there's a large volume of books here. Grandes volúmenes de. Pero luego, the sound, we say the volume. It's interesting. I don't know why. I don't know the connection. Volume, con M, volumen, volume, escrito volume. Turn up the volume, turn down the volume. Volume. Boda, wedding. All right. Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride. Wedding. Yes, there are fewer weddings now than before because there are fewer people than before. Yes, demography is declining in Spain. And church weddings, bodas en la iglesia, por la iglesia, they're falling dramatically. Church weddings. A wedding. Richard, did you have a wedding? Yes, when I got married, we had a wedding. Was the wedding in Spain or in the States? The wedding was here. Was it a big wedding or a small wedding? It was a very small wedding. How many people attended your wedding? How many people attended my wedding? About 20 people only. That's a very small wedding. Why so small? Well, because the only people from the States who could come were my parents. So I didn't want to have 200 people on one side and only 2 people on the other, you know? And that would be a terrible imbalance. So I prefer. Besides, I'm an unsociable person. I don't like big events. All right, you know. I just don't like crowds. I don't like crowds. I've never been to the San Fermin. Never. I've never been to the Rosillo. I've only been to the Mascleta on the first day of the Valencia Festival, Las Fallas. And I only went one day for about 4 hours to the Feria. Yes. No, thank you. I don't like crowds. I'm a loner. And so, big weddings, no. But wedding. Capricho es whim. Whim es un capricho, es un whim. Curiosa palabra. W-H-I-M. Whim. Suena igual que cuando, pero con M. Pero es I latina, no E. Whim. Whimsical is caprichoso. You're a very whimsical person. Why did you come to Spain? A whim. Really, Richard? A whim? Kind of. ¿Eso qué es? Más o menos. Kind of. I don't know. I studied 6 years of Spanish in Oklahoma in secondary school, simply por inercia. I just decided, you see, in secondary school, it's mandatory means obligatory, to take 2 years of a foreign language. When I started secondary school at the age of 12, almost 13, I decided to choose, and there were 4 languages available: Spanish, French, German, or Latin. And I chose Spanish. And I had Spanish that year and the following year. So I completed my 2-year obligation. However, I thought, why not? And the 3rd year, and then I went to high school, from junior high school to a different school, 4th year, 5th year, 6th year. So if I had 6 years of classroom Spanish. All right. Then I went to the university and I didn't take Spanish. It wasn't my intention to major in Spanish, to specialize in Spanish language. No. I was going to major in history. However, in my 2nd year, I saw on a bulletin board, un tablón de anuncios, Año Académico en Madrid, an academic year in Madrid, sponsored by the university in Dallas. And I said, cool. Cool is why? Why not? I'll talk to my parents. If my parents say okay, I'll go. So was it a whim? Kind of. But I knew I had 6 years of Spanish inside my brain, so there was a certain degree of logic in the decision. Although basically it was a whim. Why not? ¿Por qué no? Es mi filosofía vital. ¿Por qué no? Mola, por ello. Why not? All right. Capricho, whim. Y finalmente sabiduría. Hay mucha sabiduría en los caprichos. Wisdom. Wisdom. Yes, wisdom. You remember wisdom teeth? Las muelas de sabiduría o de juicio, como decís. Wisdom teeth. Wisdom. Wise. Sabio. A wise person is a person who possesses wisdom. Paragraphs. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Now I'm going to do the paragraphs. It's been a long time. How much time do we have, Marta? How much time do we have? Not much. Paragraph. Remember, these paragraphs are for listening comprehension. Don't try to reproduce them orally unless you have a very, very high level of English. This book is the opposite. This is for oral reproduction, but this one is for listening comprehension. These are opposites. Although they are based on paragraphs, the paragraphs here are pure native paragraphs to understand native speakers. These paragraphs are designed for Spanish people to learn to speak. So it keeps the language to the essential language for effective communication. Paragraph 175, are you ready? He works much harder than he used to. He works much harder than he used to. In fact, he used to be one of the worst troublemakers in the company. He used to be one of the worst troublemakers this company had. It's strange how much some people change over the years. Now he takes on more responsibility than most of his fellow managers, and he seems much more serious on the job. All right. He works much harder than he used to. In fact, he used to be one of the worst troublemakers this company had. It's strange how much some people change over the years. Now he takes on more responsibility than most of his fellow managers and seems much more serious on the job. All right. We're talking about a man, that man. He's been working in the same company for many years. And during these many years, he has changed completely. Yeah. Now, he works much harder than he used to. Trabaja mucho más que antes, como lo hacía antes. He works much harder than he used to. He used to means que antes, que él antes. He works much harder than he used to, which means he used to work very little. Now he works much harder. Trabaja mucho más, con mucho más ahínco. Now he works much harder than he used to. In fact, he used to be one of the worst troublemakers this company had. In fact, he used to be, antes era, o antes fue, he used to be one of the worst troublemakers, los que incordiaba, un incordio continuo. He was causing problems. A troublemaker, hacedor de trouble, hacedor de problemas. O sea, troublemaker es un incordio que está siempre, metiendo el dedo en la maquinaria. A troublemaker. In fact, he used to be one of the worst troublemakers this company had. It's strange how some people change over the years. It's strange, con el paso de los años, cómo cambian alguna gente. Es curioso, extraño. It's strange how much, cuán mucho cambian. It's strange how much some people change over the years. Now, he takes on more responsibility, asume más responsabilidad. Now he takes on more responsibility than most of his fellow managers and seems much more serious on the job. All right, I'll finish this paragraph tomorrow. Take care.